an educator and founder of the not-for-profit Generation Chosen.
And it offers free therapy and programs to lower income and racialized youth and is the focus of the upcoming documentary called Chosen. Take a look.
We're trying to help people psychologically overcome emotional disturbances. And we're also trying to lift people out of poverty, right? By giving them skill sets, tactics, scholarships, bursaries to really see themselves in a different light. Look where we came from.
Welcome to the social.
Thank you.
We just heard that very emotional last clip, and you said, "Look where we came from."
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about this, and also what inspired you to create this organization.
Absolutely. And before I respond, just a huge shout out to Mookie Media, who basically directed and managed to capture the story of where I'm from.
Who's here today?
He's here today.
Yes.
And meaningful way. The story of where I'm from really starts with my mother, who migrated here from Jamaica in the late 80s. And soon after having me, she separated from my father. And after that, she tried to enter into the teaching profession, but her credentials weren't accepted from Jamaica in that transition. And so she spent 11 years unemployed. And as a result, you know, we had to live within the Jane and Finch community. And that story is not unique.
No.
There are many people within that community who, as a result of employment, financial, relational setbacks, are in a situation where they have to deal with the symptoms of that. Gun violence, drug abuse, other types of neglect of all sorts. And so my mother's mission, my mother's dream for me really inspired me to create GC, but also watching my friends navigate those very same challenges, institutional neglect, negative representations of who we were. She always found a way to coach me through that and try to help me deepen my self-awareness so that I can respond to those issues better. Example being, I'd come home from school and instead of saying, "How was your day?" she would ask me a question like, "How'd your day make you feel?" And that started to like alter the way I would see myself in relationship to those challenges. And so GC is a love letter to my mother and also a way for me to reproduce the relationship I had with her with so many other people.
That's so beautiful. I love that your mother's an inspiration.
Thank you.
Talk to us about how did you start? What were the steps that you took?
Yeah. So in the summer of 2015, my then mentor and friend, Glenford Duffus, spoke to me. Well, he became my father-in-law, and that's a story for another time. He spoke to me and my now wife, Kamari Smith, about creating a mentorship program, which I was willing to do, but I wanted to ensure that it was unique and offering something nuanced to the community in light of the challenges that I faced, which were primarily emotional and around mental health. And so we came together in 2015 in the fall. We tried to launch. We had 0 attendees the first time we went out. So we had to regroup. We consulted the support of my closest friend, Dwayne Brown, who became a co-founder, and then Nadia Dowie, who became a lead organizer within the organization. Pitched it again in 2016 in January, and we had 6 attendees, a whopping 6. Now, they were all people that I had taught before, so I begged them to come out to the organization and support us, and they did. And 6 months after that, we ended up having hundreds of kids coming to our program on a regular basis. 6 months later. And what we found out was that, you know, it's great to feed them and do sports and activities with them, but to teach them the way we wanted to teach them about emotional intelligence, we had to gamify. And so we would create these activities where, for example, if the theme was fear, we would have them write their darkest memories down on a piece of paper, crumple it up, throw it into a big bin, written on it, sunk in place, and then have other kids retrieve that memory, write down solutions on how to cope with it and respond to it, so that people wouldn't feel like they were fighting their fears alone, that there was a community behind them supporting them. And that's just one example of some of the things that we tried to do. We call those anchor sessions, leaving you more anchored after you finish the session.
So talk to us about the organization now, Generation Chosen. Is it still doing that, or what are some other things it's doing today?
Absolutely. So on a day-to-day basis, in a number of schools within the TDSB, we are offering after-school programming in the areas of emotional intelligence, financial literacy, civic engagement. We're offering monthly trips. Everybody gets a hot meal when they come to the program. There's basketball programs as well. There's a free therapy program. So if you're a young person between 13 and 30 and you need free therapy, we provide that for you.
Fantastic.
And so in addition to that, under the leadership of the new ED, Ibrahim Mohammed, we've been able to get a camp, an actual camp for Generation Chosen, where we can take kids in the summertime for a couple of weeks away from their environment and teach them these coping skills and give them a cathartic and safe space to really deal with and undermine some of the challenges that they've been going through on a regular basis.
That's beautiful.
Incredible.
Beautiful. So Joseph, if we were to ask you, like, what is the end goal of Generation Chosen? What is that?
So Generation Chosen's mission from the very beginning was to interrupt intergenerational cycles of trauma and poverty. And so long as those cycles exist because of the conditions that we're all living within, the end is always in the process of interrupting. And so our goal will continuously be to interrupt and show up for people who can't show up for themselves. And another big part of what we've been trying to do is ensure that there was a succession plan so that we train other young people from the community to grow up and be leaders and take on the mantle. I wanted to insulate the organization from my own shortcomings and flaws and ensure that there were other people ready to step up when my life gets crazy and I couldn't keep doing the work. And so I no longer run the organization. It's run entirely by young people from the community.
Wow.
I literally am just on the outside looking in and supporting them when they need it, as are the original organizers of the organization.
That is incredible. So you're also a director at Operation Black Vote Canada, and you liaise with the federal, provincial, and municipal governments to increase representation and participation of Black adults and youth in Canadian politics. So what does that look like?
So huge shout out to Velma Morgan, that is the chair of that organization. She's been running that organization and being a trailblazer for over a decade long. That organization has done a number of things to bring community members in closer proximity with members of the federal, provincial, and municipal government. And so most recently in January, we put on a Black Men's Political Summit where we had over 125 RSVP'd individuals show up, engage with political representatives, learn how to get involved in government, and essentially show up and represent their communities in better fashion.
Oh my God,
This is amazing.
Wow. Joseph, it sounds like you have changed the lives of thousands of people for the better. What do you get out of this?
Oh gosh,
in return?
Yeah. You know, when I think back to how I came into this world and how my mother and I navigated through a lot of situations, I didn't grow up feeling safe. I also didn't grow up feeling like I belonged. And a big part of why I do the things that I do is for my kids. I have a family. My wife's in the audience, which is amazing. I'm happy she's here. My son and daughter, Zen and Winter Ray Smith. And, you know, expecting more in the future. Essentially, the goal is to, you know, create a pathway and a legacy for those young people to walk through. And for my son specifically, I'm always trying to coach him the way my mom coached me, trying to help him take full responsibility and command of his emotions and how he reacts and responds to situations. And so that's a big deal for me. I don't want him to blame the world. I want him to take ownership and figure out how to navigate it in a better way. And my daughter, just filling her with love and affirmation daily so that she recognizes that who she is really transcends the outward appearance, and she feels like she is loved on a regular basis and can shed that love.
That's
Joseph, that is beautiful. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And congratulations on Generation Chosen. May it live on through all of the young people.
Thank you.
Let's take a quick break, digest that. That is so beautiful. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.